Hi everyone, it's Mr. Pickering here. We didn't do any English yesterday. We thought we'd give you a lot of work to do last week, so we thought we'd just give you a little break on a Monday and a Friday. So you'll probably see me on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday doing our English lessons, okay? I'm going to talk quite quietly today because I've got a very sleepy Luna next to me. Look at those tired eyes. So I'm talking quite quietly on my headphones today. We're going to start with our handwriting. So last week we looked at letters that go straight up, didn't we? We looked at our I's, our L's, and our T's. Okay. Today we're going to look at our family of. We're going to start looking at our family of letters that have a curly K in them. All right. So the first one we're going to do is a C. Now, normally, let me just get it up for you. Okay, you should be able to see that now. So normally when you do a curly K, you normally would start it here, wouldn't you? And you would just go round like that. But when we're joining it, we will have joined it from another letter, which means we normally end up starting it at the bottom down here, just like we did with our L and our I and our T. Okay, so basically what we do is we do our joining line, and all we do is we go to the start of our C, which we know is normally here. So all we do is we go up to the start of our C. There it is. And then we just do a normal curly K. That's all we do. Just like that. Okay. So we're going to go up our joining line. And then we're going to come back along the same line. We're not going to make a new line. All right. Let's try that one more time. So we're going to go up our joining line. And then we're going to come back round. Quite a lot of our letters this week go back on themselves. And hopefully they'll look something like that. Okay. Now you've got to remember that C is a small letter. So this line that it's touching, just like we said last week, is an imaginary line. This is our top line here. This is obviously the line that we're sitting on. Yeah. This is just an imaginary line. So it's only going halfway up. Okay. This is what we don't want. We don't want to go to the start of our C and then kind of just do a little C here like this. All right, that ends up looking a bit like a wave or a shark fin, doesn't it? We don't want this. All right, and we definitely don't want anything. This looks so funny. We don't want anything like that. That's way too big. C is not a tall letter that touches the top. It only goes halfway up. Okay, so in your book, just like we did last week, we'll just do one line of curly K for me. Nice and small, halfway up. If it was next to an L, our L would be like this. Going all the way to the top. C is only halfway up. All right, so pause the video and have a go at one line of C. Okay, we're going to put our C into a word now. Okay, we did our I last week, and we've just done our C. And we've got the word ice, so we will have to do our E as well, which I'll talk to you about. But really, the letters that we're looking for today are our I and our C, all right? So we've got our I from last week that goes halfway up, nice and small. And then we'll go straight in to our C. Now, when you do your E, it's actually just a loop-de-loop, look. Woo! That's exactly the same size as our C, okay? Doesn't want to be massive, doesn't want to be tiny. Oh, just put my dot on my eye. It's got to be nice and small. All right, let me just have another go. So we're going straight up, straight back down, just touch that line there, up to the start of our C, and it comes back on itself. And our pencil staying on, and we'll try and do our loop-de-loop E exactly the same size as our letter C. Okay. Oh, just put my dot on my eye. Okay, now when we do, I'm just going to show you a bad one. I like showing you a bad one. Don't do this. We don't want we don't want a C that's the right size, and then our E going really, really big. Okay, we don't want that. We want all of our letters really here should be exactly the same size. Okay, just gonna do one more time, then let you have a go. So that imaginary line that's halfway up, hopefully all of these will end up exactly the same size. Okay, to make the word ice, just try one line of ice, and just like we normally do, if you've done a really good one, give it a tick. If you've done one and you think, oh, that's not very good, that's okay, give it a little cross. If you do a whole line of ice, you might want to tick all of them if they're all really, really good. Okay, have a go, off you go. Okay, we're going to start our English lesson now. We're going to start a brand new book today, which I'm quite excited about. It's a very silly book about a very, very naughty cat. Now, my grandma used to have a cat. Her cat was called Snowball because it was almost completely white. And I didn't really like Snowball, and I'll tell you why. Because every time Snowball went out of the house, normally at night time, used to go out of the house, and he'd come back in the morning, and it had brought a mouse in. It had gone out hunting and caught a mouse, and it would bring it into the house, or a bird. And one time, it even found a rat. Oh, disgusting. But cats are carnivores, they're hunters. So actually, it's quite a natural thing to do for a cat to do that. So even though it's a bit horrible, cats are hunters. So we're going to read a book today, and it's about a killer cat. Actually, a diary. It's a diary of a killer cat. You might have seen this book in our library, actually, if you're in my class. The Diary of a Killer Cat, and it's by Anne Fine. And you can see that our cat, this cat's called Tuffy. It's not a very nice cat, in fact. It's actually quite a horrible cat, but he's very, very funny. So where are we? There we go. So this week we'll be starting to read The Diary of a Killer Cat. I want you to pause the video, and I just want you to think of anything that you might want to ask about this book. It might be a who question, a what question, a when, a where, a why. So just pause the video just for 15, 20 seconds and just think, what will I need to know about this book by the time I've finished? Okay, just pause the video. Okay, so you might have asked, who does the cat belong to? You maybe ask, what does the cat kill? You might ask, where does the cat live, or where does the cat go to do his killing? You might ask a when question, when did it happen? Or you might ask a why question, why is it called a killer cat? All right, the good thing is, we can see that this is a funny book, because can you see here? Someone from the newspaper has decided that it's hilarious. So this is a funny book. Okay. So we're just going to start The Diary of a Killer Cat. Monday. Okay, so hang me. I killed the bird. For pity's sake, I'm a cat. It's practically my job to go creeping around the garden after sweet little eensy-wincy birdie pies that can hardly fly from one hedge to another. So what am I supposed to do when one of the poor, feathery little flutterballs just about throws itself into my mouth? I mean, it practically landed on my paws. It could have hurt me. Okay, so I biffed it. Is that any reason for Ellie to cry in my fur so hard I almost drown, and squeeze me so hard I almost choke? Oh, Tuffy, she says. all sniffles and red eyes and piles of wet tissues. Oh, Tuffy, how could you do that? How could I do that? I'm a cat. How did I know there was going to be such a giant great fuss, with Ellie's mother rushing off to fetch sheets of old newspaper and Ellie's father filling a bucket with soapy water? Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have dragged it in and left it on the carpet, and maybe the stains won't ever come out, so hang me. And can you see there? There's Ellie going, oh, Tuffy, and Dad looks like he's cleaning the stains off the carpet. Oh dear. Tuesday. I quite enjoyed the little funeral. I don't think they really wanted me to come, but after all, it's just as much my garden as theirs. In fact, I spend a whole lot more time in it than they do. I'm the only one in the family who uses it properly. Not that they're grateful. You ought to hear them. That cat is ruining my flower beds. There are hardly any of the petunias left. I'd barely planted the lobelias before it was lying on top of them, squashing them flat. I do wish it wouldn't dig holes in the anemones. Moan, 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 moan. I don't know why they bother keeping a cat, since all they ever do is complain. All except Ellie. She was too busy being soppy about the bird. She put it in a box and packed it round with cotton wool and dug a little hole, and then we all stood round it while she said a few words, wishing it good luck in bird heaven. Go away, Ellie's father hissed at me. I find that man quite rude. But I just flicked my tail at him, gave him the blink. Who does he think he is? If I want to watch a little birdie's funeral, I'll watch it. After all, I've known the bird longer than any of they have. I knew it when it was alive. I'm going to stop there. Quite a naughty cat, don't you think? Who has written this diary? Solo thinking time, that just means think to yourself for 10 seconds. Who's written the diary? And I don't mean who wrote the book. That's Anne fine. But whose diary is this? It's Tuffy's diary. Okay, Tuffy's diary. Is it written in the past tense? It's already happened. Or the present tense? It's happening now. Another 10 seconds. Solo thinking time. We can see that it's in the past tense because we've got some past tense verbs. Killed the bird. What am I supposed to do? It practically landed on my paws. So we've got these ed verbs, which tells us that it's written in the past tense or everything has already happened. Okay. How do we know it's a diary and not a poem or a newspaper or an information text? So have a look at the page. We've got one of the pages here. How do we know that it's not a poem? I wrote poems last week. How do we know it's not a newspaper or an information text? So the big clue is it's got the days of the week, hasn't it? Okay, there's one big clue. We've also, just let me get my pen again. It's not a poem because poems aren't written in sentences. We learned that last week, didn't we? It's not a newspaper. It's not got a headline, has it? You know, it's a diary because it's got the days of the week. It's written in the first person. It's I killed the cat. So it's written like Tuffy is speaking, yeah? There's a couple of little clues. Can you see the words which tell us that it's written in the first person? First person is when somebody is speaking. So in this book, the cat is speaking. Tuffy is telling the story. So we're looking for words that say that it's me that happened. It happened to. So, okay, so hang me. And I killed the bird. For pity's sake, I'm a cat. It's practically my job. So all of these words are first person words. They tell us that it's the cat that's speaking, all right? I want you to think now, what type of personality does Tuffy the cat have? Is he kind? Mean? Friendly? Nasty? Is he polite? Is he rude? Is he truthful? Or is he a bit sarcastic? Sarcastic is when you say something that you don't really mean. So, like at the beginning, he says, okay, so hang me. He's not actually saying that he wants somebody to hang him. And later on, he goes, so kill me. He doesn't actually mean it. He's being sarcastic because he's not a very nice person. So he's going, oh, okay, hang me. Doesn't really mean that. That's what sarcastic means, yeah? Today, we're going to have a bit of fun today because you get to be Tuffy the cat. So you get to be mean and angry and nasty and sarcastic. And we get to say loads of horrible things about Mum and Dad and maybe even Ellie, okay? So I want you to think, what does Tuffy think about Ellie? He quite likes her, doesn't he? He says, all except Ellie. But she was just sobbing and crying and burying the bird in a box with some cotton wool. What does he think about Dad and Mum? Doesn't like Dad, does he? I don't think. And he's just fed up, isn't he? Tuffy's just fed up of moan, 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 moan. What does he think of the bird? Eatsy weetsy flutterball just flew into my mouth. I don't think he really cares that he killed the bird, does he? And this is where we get to have a bit of fun. What would he say? So today, we're going to write as if we are Tuffy. So you, from now on in our lesson, are a cat. So you might need to lick your paws and clean yourself. You might need to do a little meow because you're a cat from now on, okay? And I've written as if I'm Tuffy. So if I was Tuffy the cat, this is what I'd say about my day, all right? So this is Monday and Tuesday. Right, okay, I admit it. I killed the puny little featherball. I don't really see what the big deal is. I was just casually strolling up our road when it flew right into my mouth. What was I supposed to do? Let it go? Also, Maggie, the ginger cat from across the road, was glaring at me with those evil eyes of hers. I knew she wanted to nab it off me, so I scarpered. I carried it up our road and dragged it through the cat flap. Then, all of a sudden, everyone started screaming. Ellie cried a river when she saw what I'd done, and Dad's face just got redder and redder. You vile creature, you disgusting feline. I just sat there and licked my fur. Stupid humans. So there's mine. Do you like it? I like the bit where it said, Dad's face just got redder and redder. And I also like the bit where at the bottom where it says, I just sat there and licked my fur. Stupid humans. And look at his evil look. He doesn't like those humans, does he? So you can read mine again if you want to. You can pause it and read mine again. But I want you to write about what happened on Monday and Tuesday, but you are the cat, all right? So you might want to start with the same thing as I have, where it says, right, okay, I admit it. And you'll have to include the fact that he killed the bird. He took it through the cat flap, didn't he? Mum and Dad were very angry. Ellie was very upset. So we might need to include that. You might want to include the bit, I didn't, but you might want to include the bit where Dad had to clean the carpet. And then the next day they had a funeral, didn't they? So Ellie put the bird in a box with some cotton wool. Dad didn't want Tuffy anywhere near it, did he? So that's 6, maybe 7 things that we can think of about what happened. All right. So if you want to read mine again, you can. You can pause the video and read mine again. But in your books now, we're going to write our date and titles. I'll just go back so you can write your date and title. And then this is you, Tuffy. What would you say? Okay. I hope you enjoy this. I've actually already done this with the children in school, and they really enjoyed acting really mean and horrible as Tuffy the cat. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the writing that you do. And I will speak to you tomorrow. Okay, hope you enjoy that, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.